Hi everyone, Alisha here at Cosmic Gateway. Just wanted to check in with you all and see how you're going. I know that the last week has been a pretty crazy wild ride for me. This morning I was guided to create a video to talk a little bit about different timelines, and more specifically around the twin soul, twin flame, divine partnership journey. A lot of things have been happening over the last week that I've been observing through my own journey, and also a lot of the clients that I've been seeing and seeing a lot of similarities and syncs. So I felt really compelled to share a little bit about what's been happening, and put it out there because I have absolutely no doubt that many of you are going through and experiencing the same thing. So for the purpose of, sharing information, and that's how we learn more about our journey. Now, I've also always been, a firm believer in the fact that no journey is alike. They all have similar threads, yet they're all very individual. And the more that we can open up and share and talk about our experiences, the more we learn and grow as a collective, and the more we understand different aspects of our own journey as we thread through similarities. So I guess the first thing I wanted to talk about is different timeline shifts, and that's been a really big theme for me, especially over the last couple of months. Being really aware of what it feels like to go through accelerated timeline shift. And maybe I'll talk a little bit about that first. For those of you that aren't on that specific, divine partnership journey, because we're all going through our own internal shifts, whether we're doing it as part of a solo journey or together with a divine partner or twin dynamics. So the first part that I want to talk about is, what happens as we go through and experience a timeline shift. So if you think about timeline shifts as being, 5D timelines are sitting somewhere up here, and the lower level 3D timelines are here, and we've got all these strands of reality in between. So each time the collective goes through a massive jump, we're all working on this planetary ascension together, and quite often we can all go through very similar experiences. So as we go through jumping up into the next octave, or graduation, as I like to call it, putting it in a nicer term, quite often what we will experience leading up to that is extreme pressure cooker type emotions, and a lot of stuff bubbling to the surface. And it can be around a particular situation that's appeared in our life, or it could be an internal process too. Quite often, we might have something, a particular issue that we're working on, and we start to have extreme emotions around that particular thing, and then it provokes in our external reality, and situations will crop up to amplify that. So we start to feel like we're in that really intense, that deep, intense pressure cooker type experience. And as the pressure builds up, all of a sudden it's like it pops open, and we jump up into the next octave or the next layer of a higher timeline. So quite often, the precursor will be extreme sort of energy and emotions that come with it, and then we work through that, and as we work through that, we jump into a higher octave. And so after that, we can feel following a timeline shift, the next day we can feel quite disoriented, and some of the physical symptoms that come along with that might be extreme exhaustion, tiredness, fatigue, vertigo, confusion, because I feel like we're re-navigating a whole different type or facet of realities as we go through that. So the next day can be quite, a lower level energy day. And that's when things are so that's when we're in the middle of that timeline shift, because reality is rearranging itself, and then it's followed by a feeling of relief, a sense of, okay, and things start to fall back into place, and the momentum starts to move forward again. So No doubt that you've experienced something similar, and I'd love to hear about your experiences too. But so, talking about timeline shifts, and the different people anchoring certain aspects of light. And if you are on this divine partnership journey, you might find that you're going constantly on this seesaw. And if you think about it like this, you'll find that in these type of relationship or energy dynamics, because we are that energetical match, we're going through as a team. Whether we're together or we're physically separated, we're obviously never disconnected energetically. So we're going through that process together. And, the whole purpose of divine partnership or twin soul is to be that catalyst for your own personal ascension journey. And as each person goes through their own personal ascension journey, it helps the planetary shifts come forward on the planetary scale for planetary ascension. So it's nice to look at it like that. No journey is more important than the other, because we're all working towards the same goal, just in different facets of it. So what I want to go back to is what we experienced just after the eclipse. So we just had a solar eclipse going back about a week ago. And I, after that, had some really low days. I was aware that there was a lot of timeline shifts happening. And quite often I'll go through it in my dream state, and I'll have a very heavy duty night. I think this is the best way to call it, heavy duty night. And I'm aware of jumping timelines and going back into in the past to fix or just to shift something, and then it moves back and forward, so it adjusts to our present reality timeline now. Hope you're still with me. And so while we were going through a lot of that, I been made aware over the last couple of months that me, on my own personal divine partnership journey, we have been on separate timelines. And, for a lot of you who are going through the physical separation, you probably noticed that too. And it helps to create the balance from a global perspective, a global ascension perspective, that one would be sitting on a slightly higher timeline. So if you're looking at it like a 4 to 5D timeline sitting up here, and then you've got your lower level timelines, your 3 to 4D timelines. And as it works to keep the balance. So one will be bringing in higher facets of light, and through the connection, filtering it through to the other one. And as you start to work on filtering that, you start to adjust and come into the same timeline. So last week I was guided to do some energy work, which I haven't done in a very long time, but I felt that the time was right. And as I started going through this energy process that I went through, I got the insight or the guidance awareness to tell me that we'd now synced on the same timeline. I wasn't expecting that. It was a little bit surprising for me, and I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting to see what happens, from a physical perspective. But I know that things have to sync on higher levels before it can filter into our physical reality. So once I was given this information that we had now synced on the timeline, I've gone through some pretty rapid clearing of things that I thought had cleared up, and fully accepting and trusting that that's part of the process and just going with it. And as a lot of people have reached out to me, and I've spoken to a lot of my clients who are also on this journey. It's been amazing to see that they've had very similar experiences over the last week. So I have absolutely no doubt that there is, a group of souls that are probably in the same vantage point or the same point in time where I am at my journey, because it all comes together and we all work towards the same common goal. So in this point, when I went through that energy work that I was doing a week ago, and I had that insight, I was taken to this place that I had never experienced before. It was a beautiful merging of energies. So I went through an energetical merge, and we were taken into this space, and that was where I was told that the timelines have now synced, and you have gone through all the clearing that was necessary on your journey. And I thought, oh my God, wow, it had to happen sometime. And as I do, I get these messages, and I take it with open eyes, and I fully release any expectation of what's to come next. And if you've been on your own ascension journey or divine partnership journey, you too would know that wait and see, have no expectation, wait and see what happens. And over the last week, I've connected I've done client sessions where we do the energy work between them and their partnership. And they were getting the same message. Energy was aligning. They were going through their energy mergers and being taken to the same or very similar place. They described it. Now, the coolest thing for me is that I very rarely speak about these experiences, and I like to hear the confirmation come from external sources. And once I have a few people in a short space of time that talk about this, and I think, okay, yeah, there's definitely something happening on a much more collective level than just my own journey. So that's a message that I wanted to share with you. And also with the energy merging, it can bring up some intense stuff. There's a lot that has to clear before you sync on the same timelines. There's a lot that has to go through for our own personal development, and it's all connected. And really, it's no journey is more important than any other. We're all in this together, and I can't stress that enough. We're all here to assist with the planetary ascension process and making these great shifts so that all can benefit. So wherever you are on your journey at the moment, I send you so much love, so much blessings. If you're in the in the higher state and feeling blissed out, sending you great love and share that far and wide. If you're going through the lower level, mini dark night of the soul or some rapid purging, just know that, that time too will pass. And you'll be graduating to the next level of your own timeline. So if you need further assistance, I do a lot of energy work individually. I do energy alignment sessions, and I also do that for people on the divine partnership journey. So I work with both energy bodies, bringing more balance and harmony. So I'll put the details below here if that's something that resonates with you. I also offer an 8-part program for personal ascension self-mastery to help people go through their own ascension journey. And I say this with much more grace and ease than I did. I've been on this journey for quite some time now, and I've learned a lot working with the energy myself. So, I believe that I have a lot to share with people, and that's what brings me joy. That's part of my mission, is to help people have a better grasp on their own energy bodies and to raise their own frequency. So I offer that as a individual journey, and I also offer that if you are on a divine partnership or twin journey. So the only difference is that one, we work with just your own personal journey, the other one we work as a partnership, as it truly is. So that's a little bit. If you want more information, please reach out. I'll put my contact details below. You can reach out and we can talk about what would serve you best. But sending you so much love and light on your journey. We're moving into March very, very quickly, and so we've got I'll do another energy report shortly purely about that, but we do have 2 full moons coming up in March, and also we have the equinox. So lots and lots of light coming in. We are leaps and bounds in the ascension process, and it's very exciting times that we're in. So sending you all so much love and continued blessings on your journey. So, and I'll check in with you soon. Bye.